and knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe! Because knowledge is power!
Yo, what it do? It's that boy King Solo Dolo, man. Back for a quick little something, little mental stimulation. You know what I'm talking about? So, New York City, Epic Center right now, big time in the news, big time New York City. So we're gonna talk about a little bit about New York City, New York, period. So let's jump right on into this thing, because I am an essential worker. Expendable worker. So do have to get back out there into the chaos. So 11,000, 4,000 deaths, people freaking out, everybody going crazy. NYC. Okay, so let's break this whole thing down. New York has roughly about 19 million people. 19 million people. There's 160,000 cases of the flu season right now as we speak. Numbers are still going on. Yes, people, this is flu season. Virus 19 has the exact same symptoms as flu, pneumonia. So keep that in your mind too. 11,000, 4,000 deaths. 160,000 cases this season alone, still climbing. Roughly 19 million people in New York. So, diarrhea, vomiting, coughing, sore throat, runny nose, stuffy nose, headaches, muscle soreness, fatigue, body aches, etc., etc. If I go to the hospital right now with these symptoms, they're going to automatically assume that I have the Rona in these panic times. If I go and say my chest not feeling good when it's really just my asthma, or it's really just my allergies, really during this time of the year, every time get a little hard to breathe tight, you're breathing in all the pollen, etc., etc., you know what I'm saying? So go to the doctor. They're going to say you have virus 19. So keep that in mind. All right, so 160,000 cases this season. They predict about 200,000. It's already 160,000 of pneumonia, though. Keep that in mind. So, New York leading causes of deaths. I'm going to show you this so you can check that out. Top 10, which doesn't include all the other ways people pass away, but these are the top 10. As you can see, cardiovascular disease, cancer are at the top of the list. Already at 40, 50,000 per year, 30, 40,000 cancer per year. This is just in one place in the United States. I've already done a video on YouTube. I already talked about how many die from cancer and cardiovascular disease yearly. So pay attention to that chart. Keep those numbers in mind. So 120,000 deaths just out of the top 10 if you add up these numbers. Just 120,000 deaths per year just in New York. Just in New York. 120,000 deaths. Okay? Keep all these numbers in mind now. So, if you look at all these numbers, all of them are pretty much already greater than the predicted virus 19. They already massively, go beyond what virus 19 is doing. These are already more deadly than virus 19, including the flu, which has 160,000 cases just in New York, not including everywhere else around the world, the flu. Okay, so this is just one state. Like I said, 44K heart disease, 35K cancer, but cigarettes are still legal. No mass panic about cigarettes. We got the truth commercials. We got all this going on. No mass panic about cigarettes. No shutdown of the world over cigarettes, which is super more deadly than what we're dealing with right now. Make that make sense, please, for me. Anyway, keep it going. So now let's jump down to New York City. Almost 9 million. Average Okay, we got a death every 9 minutes in New York City. 1,440 minutes in a day, 150 people per day, 5K per month, 60K per year. This is just in NYC, which is the island, which is a part of New York. Remember, New York City, two different things, but part of each other. New York City is the island, which is most famous, where, Jay-Z and everybody else, all celebrities pretty much go. That's where everybody wants to go. That's where I want to go, part of my bucket list. So, 9 million people stay there. Average death every 9 minutes. 1,440 minutes in a day. About 150 people per day. 5K per month. 60K per year in New York City. Okay. So, remember the top 10 deaths in New York. Remember all these numbers if you can. Process this information. Please feel free to rewatch this video over and over again. So, let's move on to highly respected top-notch doctor and her statement. Let me bring that up. She says, clearly, if there is no panic concerning the current flu season, which is fairly a normal one. This is normal. This happens every year. We battle through this every year. There's no shutdowns. The NBA doesn't stop. We don't have mass panic over washing hands and runny noses, sneezing, causes to protect your mouth and everything, but we go through this every year. Okay, this is every year, which is a fairly normal flu season. Panic over the domestic 19 coronavirus situation does not seem justified at the present. Could get worse, but at the present, it's like, I don't understand. Okay, so far this season, 12,000 people in the U.S. only, not all over everywhere else, but just the U.S. have died due to the flu-related illness and complications. According to the latest data from the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, of those deaths, 10 were children. The CDC estimates that so far this season, there have been at least 22 million illnesses. 22 million illnesses, 210,000 hospitalizations, and 12,000 deaths from the flu. 22 million illnesses, 210,000 hospitalizations, and 12,000 deaths from the flu. So remember, this has already been a yearly thing that we've already been battling. But every flu season, do they shut down the NBA? Do they shut down the world? Do they do all of this that they're doing for something that seems to be far more greater, far more dangerous, that we normally battle every year? I don't know. But anyway, so let's move on for that. Last note, and then I'm gonna bounce. Let me pull this up for you. The National Vital Statistics System. Okay, so you go here and they tell you basically that you can go on the website. They'll give you scenarios of death, and they will basically tell you how they will fill out your death certificate. This is how they will basically fill it out. Basically, you get what I'm saying. So, if you read on here, right below coronavirus disease 2019, it will say where the disease caused or is assumed to have caused or contributed to death. For all descendants where the disease caused or is assumed to have caused or contributed to death. So you go down to the example, it says acute respiratory distress syndrome, pneumonia, and then C is COVID-19. So if you pay attention, B is pneumonia. This person died from pneumonia. But C, they put COVID-19. So when they report this, 9 times out of 10, they're going to say this person died from COVID-19, when really they died from pneumonia. So a lot of deaths will be contributed to COVID-19, even though it might be pneumonia, it might be Alzheimer's, it might be asthma attack, it might be cancer, it might be diabetes, etc., etc. Like, if it's assumed to have caused or even contributed to the death. So I have a heart attack and I have some flu-like symptoms during flu season, and I pass out during flu season and have a heart attack, even though it's a cardiovascular reason that I died, because I'm unhealthy and I eat unhealthy, like majority of us do. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna say COVID-19 contributed to this, and 9 times out of 10, they're gonna report my death as COVID-19. Right? So that's basically it, man. Take this information, soak it in. Are these deaths, like I said before, questions before the information comes to light? It's, questions, man. Before it even comes to light, before all the data starts popping up and revealing itself, man. Hey, I knew to this, true to this, man. 18 years plus, man. Pay attention. It's the same hustle. So now you got to think about what exactly is the purpose of the shutdown. What is really going on? If we've been dealing with the flu, which is 4 times greater, 4 times more dangerous. Just a little mental stimulation for you. Other than that, here's a few examples of people that claim that their folks have passed away from other symptoms and yet have been reported to the world as COVID-19 passing. So how many numbers of those numbers, according to this statistics system that I just showed you, how many people have passed away from other things and are being reported from COVID-19? Just a little mental stimulation, That's what I like to do. So, peace out.